Old MacDonald had a farm. Well, technically, I guess. Old MacDonald has farms and ranches. And on that ranch, she has a cow. Well, 247 cows, but who's counting? Well, that guy is. And on that ranch, he gathers real-time data about his cattle with one of these. Yeah, can't really beat the view. And on that ranch, he helps preserve our native grasslands and wildlife with integrity, perseverance, and an app. Ranch tools sure have changed. And over here, they provide care for the animal with a balanced diet and just the right mix of carbohydrates, proteins, and minerals. Pretty sure that means yum. And of course, with humane handling here, safety testing there, and quality control everywhere along the way. Yeah, these are the people and the places that keep Old MacDonald running like new, where commitment and innovation help make sure beef will always be what's for dinner, and maybe breakfast, lunch, and the occasional snack. Meet today's farmers and ranchers who bring beef from pasture to plate at beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
We're 18 miles south of Cologne, South Dakota, and we're a registered Charolais operation, raising bulls for the commercial guys in this country. My grandfather and great-grandfather, they were in the shorthorn business, and so we've been in the registered purebred business, different breeds, but for over a century.
We're not really that diverse. If you take a broad look at what Odd and Charolais Ranch is, it's really focused on just producing high quality Charolais cattle and Red Angus cattle for the commercial guy. And our farm ground is basically all just put into forage to help get the mama cows through the winter and help develop the bulls and the replacement heifers. So we're probably not quite as diverse as a lot of operations, but if you take a more specific look on what we're doing within our operation with multiple breeds and selling cattle at different times and trying to hit different niches in the market, I guess that's probably where we're diverse, more on a specialized spectrum than a broad.
Well, it's pretty neat that you can go on with another generation in the Charolais thing. Now this is actually with the grandkids, that's the 4th generation of Charolais in our family.
Oh, I think it's probably the most important thing that we need to do as producers is just sharing our stories so people know what's exactly going on. Social media has been a great outlet to help spread the story, but more of a one-on-one conversation seems to be able to drive it more home than just someone reading it. There's really nothing else that I'd rather do besides work next to my brother and my dad, and the way my dad's built a cow herd that's taken an entire lifetime to do that most people don't ever get a chance to do something like this. And when you've got an entire man's work that you can take to the next level or take into the future, you're just building on a family legacy that really doesn't happen very often.
From everyone here at Odd and Charolais, thank you for choosing beef.
Well, we're 4th generation ranchers on Mason Knox Ranch. The 5th generation is working beside us. We raise several different crops and Angus cattle.
It's pretty special. I mean, you think about some people's lives and what they go through, and to come back home to the ranch, it's pretty cool. You learn from your dad, your uncle, and Dad likes to sometimes stick towards the old ways, and it's like, let's maybe change this up. Times are changing, and nice having younger generation here, and it's the same way with the plant, and Brett is so smart with the auto steer and everything like that, and the tractors, and you can just, I mean, us younger generation, it's crazy how much it's changed from the past.
We have been doing some study now, technology, and this is about as far as my technology goes, but technology is great, but we've been working with some sex semen studies. We're doing some on these heifers this summer, and we're doing one on the cows. So It just amazes me compared to 20 years ago how far this artificial inseminating cattle has came from being able to breed them to have heifer calves or bull calves, and then maybe in August being able to ultrasound these cattle and knowing, oh, that heifer there is going to have a bull calf. And we market our cattle that way. We synchronize these heifers and our cows so we can literally sit at our office desk in January or December, whenever you do it, and you can say, okay, we're going to breed heifers on the 17th of May. So then we start going backwards and we say we got to put seeders in on this day, we pull the seeders on this day, and so on and so forth. So you have everything scheduled out, and you can go one step further and say, okay, the heifers are due February 10th to calve, but we better be ready the 2nd of February because we're going to have some early calves. But that is the nice thing about synchronization. You can schedule your workload.
No, everybody helps out each other so much here. If we need help moving cattle, everybody pitches in. If they need help moving equipment or farming, we just run to the field, and it's pretty fun. And we'll get together in the morning and everybody and figure out what we want to do for the day, and everybody will kind of go their ways after that. So it works out pretty good.
They're funny. We can have tough times, but it's pretty much all fun times.
From all of us here at Mason Knox Ranch,
thank you for choosing beef.
This particular place here we bought in 1990. It was adjacent to our grandfather's land. Dad and my brother Brian, we all work together. We farm together. Everybody owns and operates their own place. But we all work together, and it takes a lot of help. Primarily our customers are 90% commercial guys, and that's why we like to go back and try to buy their cattle, their replacements or steers, see how our genetics are doing. We just sent out a couple loads of steers, and that was home-raised steers and customer calves. I hope, first of all, that I leave it better for Landon than what I got it. And for his kids.
This is my little boy Riken. He's going to be 4 in September. He really likes it being here on the farm. He's very active in helping move cattle, do chores. Recently explained to his preschool class how to AI cows. So I really enjoy having him out. Maybe a little more work having him, but I definitely enjoy it.
I think a percentage of us would like to be standing in that grocery store and showing a consumer, I'm the one. But time doesn't allow that, time or money, so I think that's part of the checkoff. We can use those resources to have that person do that.
We have a cow-calf operation is basically the base of it. When my brother and I came back, we implemented the heifer development, and so we bring in and develop custom commercial heifers for other breeders, and they stay here till they get AI'd, and then they take them. And we also put in embryos for a couple different registered breeders. So with the challenging winter and now spring again, I guess it was vital for us in our operation, and many of our neighbors the same. The cattle just took more feed and better quality feed, so we made that priority, as well as we put out a lot more straw and corn stalks for bedding than normal. They spent more time in the draws and up in the trees. As they're comfortable, they produce better, and then the end quality of the meat begins in the calf while it's in the womb, so the less stress on the cow from that point on, the better off we are. So all throughout the winter and ever since conception, the cows are always fed all kinds of whatever they need for a mineral pack, and high quality feed and bedding, however we need to take care of them to get them through the adverse weather conditions that we've been faced with the last 2 winters. But we're not just doing it for the paycheck, it's our love. I mean, we do it to feed people, I guess, and my kids and my brother's kids can also hopefully have an opportunity to make a living off of it and pass on the legacy and hopefully grow it and learn even more than we do to keep the cycle going. It's not an easy job, but we just do the best we can for that alone, because without the consumer, we have no market for our product, and if we have no market for our product, we have no lifestyle. So it all just ties together, basically. And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch, I'd like to thank you for choosing beef to feed your family.
That's all about a family farm. It's about keeping it within the family and being able to raise the family out here in the country on your own operation, and be able to work side by side with your son or daughters on a daily basis that's the biggest reward there is.
Well, living on a family farm growing up, you see how hard Grandpa and Dad have worked on this over the years, and it makes me realize it's a father's dream to see his son come back and work on the farm. And I've just really learned to appreciate this, all the hard work they put in. There's just so much that goes into the farm, so much to teach, so much to learn. There are so many guys calling, talking to Dad, and he's explaining to me what they do. And it's just crazy. His phone's always ringing. So there's a lot of stuff to learn when it comes to the farm and being the boss on it. It's been awesome this summer. This has probably been one of my favorite summers I've ever had. Just getting up every morning with Dad, him teaching me. I can see it in his eyes how passionate he is about this feedlot and how much he appreciates it. And I just love working under him and him teaching me the ropes. I'm just glad I have a dad like mine, so when I do come back to the farm, I know I'm not just thrown into it and I have to, day one, learn everything. Dad will be here and I'll be able to learn for many years from him, and it'll be awesome. And someday, hopefully, I start my own family here, and then I get the same opportunity my dad has, and I could be as successful as he's been.
St. Ange Livestock, and the auction markets play an integral role in the beef industry by setting the price, true price discovery for the whole industry. So in the fall of the year, especially out here in the western part of the state, that's when calves sell, and true price discovery, we get decided what the calf market's going to be like, and we open up the markets to anybody who will bid and buy and find out what the true price of the calves are going to be. So an integral role in paying the ranchers. This is payday when they come see us here, and we work to get every dollar we can for the rancher. I think one of the most important things about May, it is Beef Month, is a great time to showcase the producers, and it starts a lot right here with the auction markets. That's where they'll interact with the buyers and the sellers, and it's farm to plate. That's where some of the best people in the country, we get a good sound bite there, it's where some of the best people in the country come. We really believe they're stewards of the land, and they take care of their animals and their livestock, and pay a checkoff dollar to promote beef. That's a huge part of their livelihood, is not only raising them and being stewards of the land, but also promoting beef as a whole as a heart healthy meal, and May is Beef Month is a great time to do that.
25 and a half down, so you got to go 25 and a half down.
Stock has been around a long time. Gil Solar had it, I think, for, I don't know, 40-some years, I think, and I just bought it 5 years ago, I think, in August. And it's been a reputation place, and we're just trying to uphold that and keep the reputation going. Good, honest feeder cattle in a great fat cattle market, and you know, just kind of do our thing, and we really enjoy the people and what we're doing, so we have fun when we do it.
The sale barn is very important, not only for the local people, but for the market alone. Brings out true price discovery, and whether it be fed cattle or feeder cattle or weighed cows and bulls. It's very important for the community because it brings people to town. We have a great facility here. It brings a lot of farmers together, and the U.S. is really known for raising a great product. I'd like to bring them here to their local sale barn, support the barn. Then they not only stop in the community and support the local communities, whether it be gas stations or buy groceries in town as well.
33 cattle right there, 13-13 now, boys.
We try to make sure we know everybody, again, by name. New people, we welcome them with, like I said, a smile on our face, and let them know that their cattle are taken care of, and we will do anything we can to make it a good experience.
And we have, been very fortunate, and that's probably the most fun is they're not just customers anymore, they're actually friends, do anything for them and they do anything for us. Our producers, it goes back to those. We got some of the best people in the world running them right here, I think, in this 5-state area. Today's a good example. These cattle are clean, they're healthy, they did a good job of feeding them, and I don't think you can find it any better than what these guys right around here within 5 states. There really isn't, you deal with all this rain and mud and everything that these guys have been going through, and it's countless, endless hours of bedding them and taking care of them, and you can see it like here today at the sale. These cattle are clean as a whistle for as muddy as it is. You can't keep your boots clean, let alone all these cattle, so they're doing a great job.
We here at Stockton's Livestock would thank each and every one of you consumers for choosing beef as your source of protein.
My grandpa, paternal grandpa, was the one that we could probably credit a lot of our conservationist ideas to. Through him that we kind of got the idea of, the land takes care of us, takes care of our livestock. Another thing is just the grasses. I grew up knowing every species of grass, every tree there was, and we have a mindset to take care of the grass, never overgraze it, to change season of use on it, to maximize production out of it, so then the cattle can then live off of it and flourish and provide basically a living for all of our families, so my kids and my brother's kids can also hopefully have an opportunity to make a living off of it and pass on the legacy and hopefully grow it and learn even more than we do to keep the cycle going.
We try and do what is best for the animal whenever we're handling them, and there are times where you have to doctor one out in the pasture or something, and you have to think about how you're going to do it to be the least stress on the animal and on yourself. And there's ways to do it and do it efficiently, and sometimes it's a matter of saving an animal if you do it. So you're doing what's best for the animal.
A lot of times you just kind of got to watch these cows and read them what they do, and they kind of help you figure out where you need to put them.
Our operation, right now we're a custom yard. I do a lot of custom feeding. We own probably 30% of the cattle. I would like to down the road maybe own a few more, but it's fun to have investors come in. A lot of the cattle are people that are their home raised calves, so just to show what their calves can do and that kind of thing. So that's always the fun part about it. I don't see us getting any bigger. I think we're just trying to be more efficient in what we're doing.
Just as for human beings, it's important for us to keep all of our vitamins and minerals and everything in balance, and to eat a balanced diet and a healthy diet. The same stands for the cows. We feed a balanced ration whenever we can to all the feedlot cattle and developing the heifers. The cows get the mineral and they get different protein, energy, however they need it, and the roughage that they need to maintain a healthy rumen, to keep them healthy, to keep the calf growing inside them healthy, and to ultimately get them to breed back to produce the next generation of calves, to get to the plate of the consumers, to keep the circle going, to keep everybody fed.
Just enjoy what we do. It's a hard life. Calving season this year was long, cold, but we enjoy doing it, and I hope we see our younger generations want to do that also.
I'm Andrew Odden, I'm 24 years old, and I am a Team Beef South Dakota bullfighter. A lot of people will ask if I'm the clown. The clown and the bullfighter have two different roles. The clown is more of the entertainment, and he doesn't do the dirty work as much, but the bullfighter is the guy that goes in after the bull rider's bucked off and he gets the bull's attention and takes the bull away, so the bull rider can get away without getting run over. This jersey helps advocate the beef industry and what my family and all the other beef families have been promoting their whole life. I'm Andrew Odden. From my family to yours, thank you for choosing beef.
We are an agricultural-based community. Our kids drive from as far as 50, 60 miles one way just to come to school some days. We do have a number of town students also, but the majority of our kids come from agricultural-based backgrounds. And whether that be through the sale barn, through farming, through ranching, that's where they were born and raised, and that's where most of them come back to, too.
You know, we are rural. I don't think there is another word that can describe Hawken, Jackson, Jones, or Millette counties outside of rural. To have people say, how big's your county? And I can say, well, we have 1,800 people that live in a county, and they go, is that the town? And I say, no, that's the county. And those 1,800 people have to strive together to work, and they are involved in every facet of life, whether they are involved in the day-to-day production of agriculture or they are our Ford dealer, and they're all involved in agriculture.
It's an understanding that that's, if you've got to go work cows that day, it's an excused absence for our school district. That is our livelihood. Kids branding in the spring. We just know there's going to be a number of days that they're gone branding. There's fall work to be done. For us, it's you call in, hey, so-and-so is going to be late because we're still hauling cattle.
The school's always really supportive of anything that happens. If today was a sketchy day in the rain just to get here I have 18 miles of gravel road and the rest is highway. So there's days when like these last storms where we called in a couple of days and had our oldest son stay home from school just because we needed extra help on the ranch to make sure things were getting done. Feeding is an all-day job sometimes when the weather isn't cooperating.
The place that I'm on right now is 28 miles. So we have an understanding of what that means for those kids to try to get to school every day on gravel roads or whatever. We don't run any buses. So our community is very supportive of agricultural backgrounds.
They are ag-centered. It's part of our culture. It's part of the network fabric that makes our communities. In talking to people, there wouldn't be a Phillip without agriculture, and there wouldn't be a Phillip without the beef industry.
So from the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you to all of those that purchase beef and keep our family ranches going and our communities.
I'm Tegan Mason.
I'm Carson Hamill.
I'm Andrew Odden.
On behalf of Mason Knox Ranch.
From everyone here at Odden Charlet.
And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch.
From our family to yours.
From the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you. We thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you, the consumers.
We thank you for choosing beef.
Thank you for choosing beef.
And it's time for some more South Dakota beef tailgate tips with Holly Swee. And Holly, this is a great low-carb option, but not short on taste. A lot of flavors going into this one.
Yeah, so this is a beef satay with spicy peanut sauce. So first thing you do is you have your tough round steak, and you're gonna slice it thinly in about 1/8-inch slices. To create the marinade, you choose your favorite Asian dressing, and then just add chopped ginger, cilantro, and brown sugar. Then to create the sauce, you just take peanut butter, add a little milk, soy sauce, fresh lime juice, sugar, ground ginger, and red pepper. Mix that together and set aside. Then you're going to take your marinated beef strips and thread them onto soaked bamboo skewers, and then place on your medium-high preheated grill. Cook for about 2 to 3 minutes, turning once and basting, and then serve with your spicy peanut sauce.
All right, yum. For more recipes like this, you can head to beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. Many times people have questions on guidelines for storage time in the refrigerator and freezer for fresh beef cuts from purchase date. Here are some approximate storage guidelines for fresh beef cuts. For steaks and roast, 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator and 6 to 12 months in the freezer. For stew meat, kebabs, or strips, 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator and 6 to 12 months in the freezer. For ground beef, 1 to 2 days in the refrigerator, 3 to 4 months in the freezer. For more information, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council, and I often get questions on what percent lean to fat ratio ground beef should I choose and what are the different grinds used for. Here are some general suggestions for various ground beef grinds. Ground beef that is not less than 70% lean is used for burgers and in recipes calling for browning, crumbles, and pouring off drippings, such as chilies, tacos, and spaghetti sauce. When properly cooked, it's moist and juicy. The 80 to 85% lean ground beef is a mid-range lean to fat ratio, and it's a nice option for dishes like meatloaf and meatballs. When properly cooked, it's moist and juicy and has a slightly firm texture. Ground beef that's 93% lean or leaner meets the government guidelines for lean. If you're trying to choose lean meats, this is an excellent choice for you. It works well in dishes that require crumbles like meat sauce, tacos, stuffed peppers, or casseroles where draining fat might be difficult. Find these tips and more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council, and grilling season is in full swing. I often get questions, which beef cuts are the best ones to grill with? And although there's a wide variety of beef cuts that will work well, a few of my favorites are T-bone steak, top sirloin steak, strip steak, or ribeye steak. All of these steaks are tender and are great by just adding a little salt and pepper for seasoning. Less tender cuts that are great on the grill too are cuts like flank steak or cuts from the round like eye round steak or top round. However, these cuts may benefit from marinating for a few hours ahead of time to help break down the connective tissue to increase tenderness. For more information, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
It's May Beef Month here in South Dakota and the start of the summer grilling season. From ground beef to whole cuts, there are many great beef options for the grill.
What are some good steaks that I would recommend on the grill would be like a ribeye, a strip loin steak, which is also typically known like as a New York strip steak, a sirloin.
She recommends grilling with medium-high heat so the beef cooks slowly and doesn't char.
What you really want to happen is that meat to get caramelized on the outside for that beautiful flavor and to have more even cooking.
The cooking time depends on the thickness of the cut, but there are temperature guidelines for steaks.
What you're looking for is an internal temperature of around 145 degrees Fahrenheit. For ground beef patties, 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
And a meat thermometer helps ensure the desired doneness. For more tips, go to sdbeef.org. This Heartland Consumer Report is sponsored by the South Dakota Beef Industry Council's Beef Checkoff.
Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council, and today's beef tip focuses around internal temperatures when cooking beef. It's important to cook your beef to the correct internal temperature, and the best way to do that is by using a meat thermometer. For ground beef, such as patties, cook to an internal temperature of 160 degrees. Insert an instant read meat thermometer into the center or the thickest part of the meat patty. For steaks, half-inch or thicker, insert the instant read meat thermometer horizontally from the side so that it penetrates the thickest part or the center of the steak, not touching fat or bone. For medium rare, the temperature should read 145 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature for medium steak should read 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and well done is 170 degrees Fahrenheit. For more great beef cooking tips, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council, and today I'm going to share with you a few important tips when grilling that are often overlooked. First, remember when turning or flipping beef on the grill, use a tong rather than a meat fork to avoid losing tasty juices. Next, once the beef has reached your desired doneness, be sure to let it rest. Keep in mind the internal temperature will continue to rise for a few minutes after coming off the grill. Resting the meat prevents the juices from draining on your plate. For most beef cuts, about 5 minutes is enough. However, if you're grilling a larger beef cut such as a roast, you'll want to let it rest a few minutes longer. Lastly, after the meat has had time to rest and you're preparing to slice the beef, remember to slice across the grain which means slicing perpendicular to the direction of the muscle fibers. This helps make the meat easier to chew and provides for a better eating experience. For more beef preparation tips, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Hi, I'm Holly Swee with the South Dakota Beef Industry Council, and today I'm going to share with you some basic information about marinades. There are two reasons you would want to use a marinade. One, to add flavor, and the other, to help tenderize. If you're using a tender cut, such as a strip steak, and you just are looking to add some flavor, you'll only need to marinate for about 15 minutes to 2 hours. If you're preparing a less tender cut, such as a flank steak or a skirt steak, you'll want to marinate for about 6 to 24 hours. Remember to always marinate in the refrigerator and never at room temperature. For more great beef grilling tips, visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com.